There is a specific kind of irony that only exists in the streaming space. A man sues someone for defamation. The lawsuit is still active. He goes on Twitter and posts a cropped screenshot designed to make that same person look like a racist. The internet catches the crop immediately. Within hours, a community note goes up. The original context clips flood the timeline. Suddenly, the person doing the suing is the one who looks like they misrepresented something publicly. That is what happened. It is just one entry in a series of files that keeps growing every single week. Mizkif posted a tweet addressed directly to Asmongold, asked him if he was going to react to his queen Emiru's 48 minutes of lies or keep hitting on her while using the N-word as a password at 33 years old. Said Emiru sent this to him in a screenshot years ago. The screenshot showed Asmongold typing something that in isolation, without context, looked exactly like what Mizkif was describing. The full conversation told a completely different story.
He's basically accusing me of using the N-word as my password. Where in any of this have I spoken about a password at all? There is no indication of it being a password. He completely manufactured this. Like, of all the things that you're going to accuse me of, this was completely a lie. And it was a complete lie. Like, it was made up out of nothing. So, like, I'm talking really creative shit like that. Screenshotted JK. Now, I'm not going to share the entire context around why Mizkif has the screenshot, but this is one thing that I can say, is that at the bottom of this, and he can't joke around with it because I know he could, because I know he would because of OTK. And basically I'm saying, like, Mizkif can't joke around with this kind of stuff because of OTK, and it puts him in a position where, you know, he can't be the usual guy that he is. Does this sound like a person who's talking about somebody who they don't like? This sounds like me talking about a friend. And that's because me, Mizkif, and Emiru at this time were all friends. The context behind why this was shared, I think, Mizkif, maybe you should provide the context why you have this screenshot. Why do you have this screenshot from Emiru explaining all of this? Because I'm not upset about this at all. This was all shared and all this was happening when we were all friends. So he should explain why he has the context to this screenshot. And I think that will be very revealing. Anyway, at a certain point, he wasn't, so this is it. At a certain point, he wasn't even using the word anymore. The funny thing about it is that I was talking about a completely different person. This is the actual
talking about a viewer in Trainwreck's chat who had been using racist slurs. The conversation between him and Emiru was about that person, about the broader culture of slurs in streaming communities, and it evolved from there. It was not a password. It was not flirting. Two people talking at 1:55 in the morning about racism in chat. Emiru went live specifically to show the full conversation. Said she was not scared to show it. Certain things about the situation did not change regardless of context. She acknowledged that, but the framing Mizkif used was not what
I will show you guys. So this is like the first part of the conversation. You can feel free to read it. I'm probably not gonna read through it myself because like that would just take a while, but like you're free to screenshot it, whatever. So the first part of the conversation, we're talking about like streaming on Rumble, blah blah blah. And then I'm talking about, okay, so like, this will take a bit, but I'm talking about how Rumble chat is bad because they don't have IP bans. So the context of this conversation is we were talking about crazy viewers, like horrible people in chat. So then I go on and I'm like, yes, it's horrible because people can just spam different accounts. And so I was talking about this guy who made multiple accounts to like harass people in the chat. And then he, Asmon, starts talking about one of Trainwreck's viewers and saying like, oh, Train had this viewer that was like an insane, like weirdo racist. And so then I'm like, holy shit, like that's fucking insane. Like that's fucking weird. Like who does that? So that's the actual context of what's going on, is I'm reacting to this super fucking weird viewer, and like we're clearly talking about insane viewers, right? It was not his password. Like, you can clearly see there's no flirting happening here. But like I said at the beginning, I know like this doesn't
note
change.
went up on Mizkif's tweet confirming he had lied and omitted context. The screenshot he posted did not represent what the conversation actually was. On top of that, allegations surfaced that he had been paying clippers to spread his narrative and post negative content about Emiru. His own tweet got flagged for misrepresentation while he was actively trying to reframe a lawsuit situation that had just gone against him. Now here is where the timeline becomes important, because the day before he posted that tweet, the Mizkif lawsuit against Asmongold had been dismissed. The magistrate recommended dismissal. The actual judge adopted that recommendation. The defamation case Mizkif had filed against Asmongold was gone. That detail matters more than it might seem at first, because the cropped screenshot tweet did not come out of nowhere. It came out of a man who had just lost his legal case against Asmongold the previous day. The tweet was not a planned strategy. It was a reactionary strike from someone who had just taken a loss in court and had nothing left to use except a cropped image and a framing that a community note confirmed was wrong within hours.
Actually, last night, my case was dismissed. His lawsuit that he brought against me for defaming him was dismissed. It was a recommended decision by the magistrate judge, and then the actual judge adopted that recommendation and dismissed my lawsuit, his lawsuit against me.
The moment the case was dismissed, Asmongold came out of silence. He explained why he had not spoken earlier. XUC had told him it was a 99% chance he would not get in trouble. His response to that was one sentence. How many 1% mounts do I have? He decided to wait. Let Mizkif keep talking. Let the legal process finish. Let the man post every day while saying nothing back. The moment the case was gone, he walked out with everything.
And dismissed my lawsuit, his lawsuit against me. And so because of that, I am going to be talking about this. I didn't talk about it originally because, I mean, again, I knew I was almost at the finish line, and I know people were like, you know, XQC was like, well, it's a 99% chance you're not going to get in trouble. Yeah, but how many 1% mounts do I have, right? And so I just said, okay, I'm going to wait and give it a minute. These are screenshots provided by Mizkif. It says, a creative, huh?
The internet had one reaction immediate. Sues for defamation, commits defamation. The irony landed before the tweet was even an hour old. While Mizkif's lawsuit against Asmongold was still technically active, he had gone on Twitter and posted a cropped screenshot with a framing that a community note confirmed was a misrepresentation. He did the thing he was suing someone else for doing, on purpose, publicly, while the case was still open. The gap between filing that lawsuit and posting that tweet is the most self-defeating sequence of moves anyone in this space has made in a long time. This is not one incident. This is a pattern. The pattern has been building for months. The original allegations from Emiru's October 2025 stream, the lawsuit Mizkif filed, the Asmongold Discord screenshot that Emiru had sent to Mizkif years ago during their relationship, now being used as ammunition against Asmongold. Mizkif posting the cropped version on Twitter, Emiru going live to show the full version, community notes calling out the omission, allegations of paying clippers, the lawsuit against Asmongold dismissed, Mizkif going nuclear the very next day. Through all of it, the same observation kept surfacing everywhere. Mizkif had been posting about Emiru every single day. She had said almost nothing. The frame the entire internet landed on was the same from every direction. Mizkif is obsessed, posts about her daily, files lawsuits, then does the thing he is suing over, crops screenshots and gets community noted, allegedly pays people to clip content in his favor. Every move is aimed at the same target. Every move produces more material that makes him look like the person he is trying not to look like. Emiru went live twice, showed the full context both times, said she could have handled some of her responses different, kept her volume low while the legal process continued. The contrast between the two approaches was not subtle. The defamation claim against Emiru from Mizkif's lawsuit still moves forward on a separate track. That case has not been resolved. The case against Asmongold is gone. The case against OTK and the other defendants is in arbitration. These are people who saved everything, every screenshot, every Discord message, every private conversation, every receipt. When you save everything, eventually everything gets used. Mizkif used Emiru's screenshots against Asmongold. Emiru used the full context against Mizkif's framing. Asmongold used his silence against Mizkif's constant posting. The files keep leaking because the people in this circle built their entire operation around documentation, and every document eventually finds a use. The Emiru files are not settled. They are just waiting for the next leak. If you want to be here when the next file drops, hit subscribe. But let me know down below what you actually think is coming next. Is Mizkif building towards something with all of this? Or is this just someone who genuinely cannot stop? Drop it in the comments.